everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hannah and today I got my friend Stevie with me.
Hi!
Stevie is an obsessed expert
I'm on the edge of my seat.
of the colour code.
Oh, cute. That's okay. Am I an expert? Interesting.
In my life, you're an expert.
That's
because
really-
you're the only person I know who knows anything about it.
No one, so there's lots of things people call me an expert of. No one's ever said I'm an expert of a color code to introduce me before, so I am excited.
Yeah. So, what is the colour code?
So the color code, it was designed, developed, invented by Dr. Taylor Hartman in like the 80s, and it's just a way to separate you into 4 main personality types, and then you can steal things from the other personality types to create your secondary color.
Does that mean there's an element of choice? You can choose your second one?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting.
But you have to like work. You can't just be like, I'm a blue now. You have to like actually learn the things.
So you have to take action in order
So,
to...
so basically it mixes nature and nurture, right? So the theory is that every baby is born a color, and then based on their experiences or their traumas or their family members or whatever is around them, they adapt things from another color. So
Okay,
you can either
interesting.
adapt things because this other color was like too much in your life and you're like, fuck no, I'm gonna be this other color then. Or you can be like, oh, I really love my mom and she's this color and I learned all these traits from her, you know?
So what are the 4 colours?
So there's blue, white, red, and yellow. So blue like quickly just means that you are motivated by emotional intimacy. Whites are motivated by peace and comfort. Yellows are motivated by pleasure and fun, and reds are motivated by power and control.
So Stevie is a red.
I am a red.
Stevie's a red. I've never done this quiz before, and I think I'm a yellow, but I remember you being like, no, you're a blue.
You're a blue.
No, I'm a yellow.
You're a blue yellow.
No, I'm a yellow blue.
You can't lie on this test
gonna
so
be
that
a
you can get a yellow answer, I swear to God.
No, I won't. I'll answer it truthfully.
Do people call you a fuckboy when you were dating?
No, I don't think so.
They're not
Oh,
yellow.
my parents would, any guy that I was dating, my parents would be like, oh, poor that person.
Oh my God.
No, but because they would get their heart broken. It was because like I would like date them for a week and then be like, sorry.
Yeah, then you have been called a fuckboy.
So explain how the different combinations of colors have different names.
Yeah, so my friend's ex like came up with like names for them to like call them things. And so I suspect you're a blue yellow, and so you would be called a Medusa.
Oh, okay.
And since
so
I
this
haven't
isn't
taken
official. This
Right.
is just
this is just like someone who I know through the grapevine like made up names.
okay. So a blue yellow is a Medusa, and what your red what?
I think I'm a red blue, but I've never taken the test that tells me my secondary before, so this is my first time too.
Okay.
Which is an emperor, but I really hated that name, and then I realized that it's because it was misgendering me, so I call myself an empress.
What would a yellow blue be?
Yellow blue is a Pegasus. So Jessica's the yellow blue.
Jessica's a yellow blue. So we're gonna do the quiz. I remember one thing you told me about it was the fact that it's asking you questions based on who you were as a child.
Yeah.
Which I've not done a test like this. Like all of the other ones are all about like, who are you now?
So
What
they're
were you like as a
basically trying
child?
to see what you were like before you developed any secondary traits, because you could accidentally get your secondary if you're just answering who you are now, right?
I just can't remember what I was like as a child.
So I was such a fucking little murderous sociopath as a child.
Cool. So red.
I tried to murder my little brother. I poisoned him on purpose. I was like 18 months old. No, I must have been like 2.
Cool. So part 1, strengths and limitations. For each cluster, choose one trait that best describes how you behaved as a child. That's like in all caps and underlined.
Yeah, you should try to do before age 5. So like if you could think of like age 4 or 5.
Okay, I was American.
Oh, you were?
That was
you lived
that
here.
was the year I lived in America. So I'll be like,
Oh.
cool. Is there American on here? The only thing I remember about myself from that time is I remember being jealous of my tall friends.
Of your tall friends?
Yeah.
Aww.
And I remember fancying a boy in school. Do you have any idea of what you were like at that age?
I told you this test is really hard for me because of, childhood trauma. I'm like, was I like that because I was being abused? Or was I like that because I was gay? Or was I like that because where I lived? Like, what the fuck? What is my natural state of being? I can't remember. I swear to God, if I get something different, I'm gonna be mad.
Okay, I managed to find one that I was like, yes, I was always this, which is enthusiastic, kind, caring, productive. I think I've always been enthusiastic. How can you be the voice of reason as a child?
Yeah, what the fuck? I mean, I did have a cousin who was always like, guys, we'd be like, hey, let's go and do this bad stuff. And she'd be like, actually, if you do that bad stuff, we will get in trouble. So maybe we shouldn't do that bad stuff.
Shit,
and if you do it anyway, I'm going to go tell on you.
That might have been me.
Voice of reason. So if you want to guess somebody's color, most of the population is blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
Blues find it easiest to connect with people because all movies and music and whatever, if you think about think capitalism, right? Like things that are popular are the things that keep getting made and keep making money. So most of the population is blue. So things that appeal to blues, like dramatic things and overly emotional things, are going to get made more, right?
So what would appeal to a red?
Like the show Billions, where it's all about like power and like money and like manipulation and control. I fucking love that show. The lowest number of the population is yellow. So most songs are like written either by a yellow or by a blue about a yellow.
Where'd you hear that? Or is that just your perception?
It's my perception because yellows are the fuckboys, right? Taylor Hartman is a yellow though. The guy that made this is a yellow. Am I self-regulated? And I clicked on it and it was like controlling one's emotional responses. Yes, that's me.
I feel like I was an obnoxious child, but I think that's like me being self-critical. Like if I watch like home videos of myself, I'm just like, oh, what a fucking obnoxious little child.
Yeah.
She's just like, look at me.
God.
Look at me.
I don't know how the fuck the adults in my life handled me.
Not persuasive at all. I was the one being persuaded and crying. Just like,
Not a
you
yellow.
hurt my feelings.
Not a yellow.
But now, like as an adult, I think I'm a yellow.
Yeah, I think you have a secondary yellow for sure. Because you're so good at performance, you love to make other people happy and entertained. But you're not flighty, you're not a bad friend.
Oh, so you mean saying I don't have any of the bad traits of being yellow?
Right, that's how you know. Ooh, number 8 is a great sum up of what all the colors are.
I picked bossy.
Me too. So bossy would be red, self-critical would be blue, unfocused would be yellow, and avoids conflict would be white.
Yeah, I think I was a bossy child.
It's so great too because you could be really charactered, right? You don't have to just have one secondary color. You can have all 3 of them. They're just like separated into thirds.
Yeah, we're gonna get our full pie chart. I fucking love a good pie chart. I love number 22, like one of the options is always right. Like as if that's a
That's the one I
personality.
choose. It is a personality. Literally, like, have you ever fucking met someone that like cannot be wrong? Like they're just like, I was that as a fucking child. I was like, I will prove it to you. No, I'm right. I'm right.
No, but what if you weren't right?
Oh, that doesn't matter because they're always right.
Right.
Have you ever met someone like that?
Um,
They're fucking insufferable.
My partner. My partner is like that.
Your partner might be a red. Maybe you're a vampire.
Well, I'm trying
You're a vampire.
to
You're too likable. No offense to vampires.
What's a vampire?
So basically,
No, which color?
So you have to think about the reason why a primary color would pick that secondary color, right? So if you're a blue, your main goal is to have emotional connections with others. So why would you put red on top of it?
Because that's not going to help you achieve that.
It would, but why would you do it? It's usually either because you admire that in people or because something's hurt you, right? So a reason a blue would pick a red would be because they need control because they've been hurt emotionally.
So blue-red is a vampire.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So there's a Twitter account called Color Code Culture
Okay.
where you can like read all these threads about the different colors. And it says like so it'll say like at worst empresses are this, at best they're this. So the at worst is empresses will use their knowledge that they've learned of feelings and emotions to manipulate.
Cool.
And then at best, they use their knowledge of being able to not be emotionally affected by as many things as blues to fight for the underdog and protect them. So I like to think that I'm more on that side of things.
I think you're on that side of things. I'm on part 2, which is situations. It gives you 15 situations with 4 possible reactions. And again, you have to consider your response as a child. So it's like, as a child, when my friend was in trouble, I was concerned, empathetic, and loyal regardless of the problem, supportive, patient, and a good listener. non-judgmental, optimistic, and downplaying the seriousness of the situation, protective, resourceful, and recommending of solutions.
That one's me, the last one. I'd be like, oh, you have a problem? Here's how to fix it. Do you want to do it now or later, or do you want me to do it for you? What do you want?
When I hear in trouble, I think, oh, they were in trouble with a teacher, which means maybe they deserved it, and so I'll leave them to it.
Have you seen that ad where there's a porcupine that goes to school with a bunch of squirrels?
No.
Makes me cry every time because I relate to the
Oh my
porcupine
God, such
so
a
much.
blue.
I relate to the porcupine so much because he's so sharp, and so he keeps hurting all of his friends on accident. And then one day, they all like stopped talking to him as much, but his best friend was a squirrel. And then the squirrel got him a present, and he opened it, and it's full of like the little packing peanuts, and he's trying to dig into it, and he gets to the bottom, and there's nothing in there. And then they're like, "What is that for?" And then they put the packing peanuts on his little. So that's my blue. My blue is the packing peanuts, and I'm a porcupine, and I accidentally hurt people because I'm just too honest and blunt and mean. So I had to go and buy some packing peanuts.
Some emotional.
I gotta send this video to my therapist.
I've just come across like the first one that I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Like, I've not even had to read the other three. I'm just like, that one. And it's, when I was embarrassed as a child, my natural reaction was to distance myself and downplay the situation to others while silently feeling the pain.
Wait.
So this one is $39.95 American dollars.
But there's also a free version that'll give you your primary but not your secondary.
Yeah, there is a free version. View assessment results. I'm nervous. But I also I was guessing for most of that. God damn it! What are you?
First of all, I'm like 90% red. Oh my God!
The white is the tiniest.
That is so funny.
34.94% yellow, and then 34.77% red, and then blue 27.9%.
But they're all so close to each other.
They're all so big, and then white is like,
so you have to take it again.
I think what I'm gonna have to do is
make my
parents
because they're so close. You have no idea which one it is.
Yeah.
Damn. It's definitely not white though.
It's not white.
Look.
Oh my God, please.
86% red. Also, because your secondary color is in your adult life, I wonder what would happen if you answered it to how you are now. Because I was answering it to how I was as a kid.
Also, blue is your lowest, and that's what you're trying to work on.
Yeah, that's not true. Because you're answering it as a child, right? So when I was a child, I had no blue.
Yeah,
right?
That's true. Oh, apparently whites and yellows are like the same amount of the general population. So blues are the most common, then reds, and then white and yellow.
Well, in his book, he says yellows are more rare, but that maybe they hadn't done enough research yet.
Yeah, I don't know what research.
They hadn't done enough polls yet.
Your strengths and limitations. It's not giving me any white
Yeah, so
limitations.
look at these and see which ones you least relate to as limitations.
Okay, so limitations. Yellow, uncommitted. No, I'm very committed. Self-centered. Yes, I'm self-centered. Naive, sometimes. Vain, yeah. Obnoxious, yeah. Afraid to face facts. Depends what the facts are. I mean, the planet is warming. Climate change is happening. I'm not afraid to face those facts.
Making it political. Here we go. Love it.
Right, red limitations. Tactless, sometimes. Arrogant, yes. Bossy, yes. Impatient, yes. Blue limitations, emotionally intense, sometimes. Well, actually, no, all the time. But it's only in my excitement. It's my excitement emotion that is the intense one. Judgmental, yeah. Worry prone, me. Overly sensitive, me. Low self-esteem. When I was a child, yes, but not now. No, go on, what the ones that it comes up for you? Because it doesn't say anything under white limitations for me.
So my yellow strengths are persuasive. My yellow limitations are an interrupter. I am a fucking interrupter, hardcore. My red limitations, because yours are different than mine. So mine is selfish, tactless, insensitive, always right, calculating, arrogant, relentless, bossy, critical of others, demanding, impatient, argumentative, overly aggressive, and intimidating. And I identify with all of those.
Mm-hmm. Your strengths, come on.
My red strengths are motivated, articulate, pragmatic, productive, decisive, assertive, determined, a leader, and focused.
Here's the one thing that makes me really identify as a yellow. The yellow needs are to look good socially, to gain general approval, to be adored, and to be happy.
Yeah, your
Why
biggest
do you
fear
think
about
I
your
make
children.
YouTube videos?
Yeah, you're telling me all these are unhealthy traits, but listen, I was a child.
Yeah.
I did try to poison my brother.
but it's
Which one? Which unhealthy trait would that be? Tactless, insensitive, calculating? Yeah, those three.
relentless.
Relentless. Fuck. It's giving you advice. Here's some advice about work. You should start being more sensitive to others you work with.
I need to start following through on promises that I make to others.
I need to enjoy living in the moment. I have my most successful relationships with like romantic partners with whites and short flings with yellows.
I don't know. I've never categorized people like this.
Well, I just think about the color code a lot, and then I'm like,
But
I
if
wonder what
if
color
I'm
they
a
were.
blue and Dan's a red, that's not supposed to go well.
I believe in the book they call it blood, sweat, and tears is the name of the relationship.
Ice and fire.
Ice and fire is white and red. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's a white
No.
because he's logic based and right.
He's definitely logic based.
In British culture, I feel like is very white. They like tell people to be more white, basically, in everything.
Because we like queuing and we don't like
Politeness.
confrontation.
Yeah.
And we're like manners. Mm-hmm. Manners. Where are your manners?
And here, I feel like our culture, especially like Hollywood, is very yellow. But we gender people. So like we teach little girls to be blue and we teach little boys to be red.
This has been fascinating. I've loved this. I'm going to dive into this a bit more, but I also really want my parents to take this for me. Okay, I got my parents here. You have to answer these questions as how you behaved as a child, but I don't remember how I behaved.
We left you in an orphanage for 10 years. You have no idea.
No! They did it. Well done. Okay, so the way that you answered based on what I was like as a child, I think I'm going to come out more red.
Which
Which is like power.
oh right.
Yeah. And less the fun and emotional
Yeah.
intimate
Yeah.
side. So I'm going to show you what my original results were when I did it.
Ooh, the wine's great.
See? Yeah, okay, so you thought that I was more peaceful than I thought I was, but I was right, more red.
And what's
lot more
white?
red.
Because that's much more. What's
So my
white?
motive is power. That's so funny. Stevie's going to be like, what, you're red?
We've cut your blue down loads.
What's-
But the thing is, we were in awe of your redness.
Maybe.
Because you were like...
But you weren't mean or horrible with it.
You're the person who finished the homework before we told you to do it.
Then my second colour is
Maybe one.
yellow.
I
Do you
think
get a
the answer is it's a rubbish quiz.
No.
There we go. Thank you for watching. Thanks for Stevie for being here. Go check out her YouTube channel. Does lots of lesbian sex ed videos. Do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you know what your color code combo is, do let us know in the comments. Do you think I'm a blue, yellow, or red? Don't forget to subscribe because I make new videos every week. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!